All right, this just in. The Wolves have dismissed their general manager, Gersson Rosas. And I want to bring in Kendrick Perkins and Ramona Shelburne, who joins me in studio for more on this. And Momo, I want to start with you. Why did this happen and why now?
Well, I think Karl Anthony Towns' reaction there sums up the collective response around the NBA. Gersson Rosas was in the gym this morning. He was in the gym this morning with the team in Minnesota. I don't think a lot of people saw this one coming, although they have a new ownership group there now. And from what I've been gathering in the last 10, 20 minutes since this happened, this wasn't as big a surprise amongst those who have been in communication with the new ownership group. That's Mark Lowry and Alex Rodriguez. Now, that statement is from Glenn Taylor. That's the current owner / old owner. But they have a very complicated ownership transition that's starting to take place. Mark Lowry's group bought 20% of the team this spring. They get another 20% after the 2022 season, and then the final 20% after the 23 season. So there's a transition of the next 2 years. So you see Glenn Taylor is the statement there, but this is really the new ownership group. You know, you get a new boss, and it's not always all that surprising when the new boss wants to hire his own people. And from what I understand, Cassidy, Mark Lowry has already reached out to other front office candidates to take over this job, has been sort of quietly reaching out behind the scenes. It's really a stunning move because of where the Timberwolves are right now in the middle of this Ben Simmons discussion. They are one of the teams that have been active in trade conversations with the Sixers for Ben Simmons. I thought if Ben Simmons moves before training camp starts or during training camp, they were the most likely destination because they're the most motivated team with the best draft assets. So who's going to be running the team? They have as you can tell, everybody's a little caught off guard. Karl Towns, when your franchise players tweeting that 5 minutes after decision.
Perk, with Kat tweeting WTF, I mean, what does that say to you?
Well, I mean, it means that he didn't know, but he don't have to know. And this is a learning lesson for him. But a guy that played for 14 years, a guy that got drafted in 2003 by the Boston Celtics, I watched that happen in Boston. A new ownership group came in, and they hired Danny Ainge. They want to hire when they come in, they want a whole new beginning. They don't want guys that's already been there. They want to hire guys that they think could move in the direction that they want them to move, and that's uplifting that program. We can't lie. I mean, Minnesota has been at the very bottom for a while now, and it's time for new life. And, you know, even last year, I questioned Rose's hire when he hired his good friend mid-season, Chris Finch. And I'm not saying that, you know, he's not capable of being a head coach, but, you know, he passed up on David Vanderpool, who was right there, usually the associate coach who had a great relationship with all those guys over there. Usually they move up and get an opportunity. And he passed up on a lot of guys that were already out there that he could have picked up that could go in there and actually speak their language. Now, I'm not knocking Coach Finch right now because I don't know if he's capable of doing it, but this should be no surprise to the world, nobody else. This happens. When new ownerships take over, usually they bring in new people.
Just something of note, our Bobby Marks just tweeted this out. In 2 weeks, Gersson Rosas was allowed to make the Patrick Beverley trade, bring back Jared Vanderbilt, Jordan McLaughlin, and sign first-round pick Leandro Bolmaro. Now, 6 days before training camp, Minnesota's looking for a new head of basketball operations.
But Cass, you know what the important point on this timing is? Minnesota's on the doorstep of potentially trading for one of the most impactful players in the league that you can go trade for right now. They're in these discussions, and if your ownership that is going to be taking over and paying those salaries and having that team, you want your guy making that trade if indeed they go through with this. You know, I don't know what this does to the current state of negotiations because I'm stunned at the timing of this because of how much people in Minnesota were preparing as if this is what they had going into the season. I mean, as of this morning, Gersson Rosas was in the gym with guys in Minnesota working out, talking player development, talking culture building. I mean, this definitely caught him and others there by surprise.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.